Hi guys, this is Nash Sharma, and in this session we will discuss data validation with pattern matching in Microsoft Power Apps. Data validation with the pattern matching. What is the pattern? Pattern is a combination of the letters, numbers, and it could be a special characters. Like whenever a value, input value, is matched with the pattern. If it is a match, the data is valid. Or if not matched, then the data is not valid. So we would be using the ismatch function of the Power BI for validating the data. As you can see in the syntax, ismatch function there are three parameters: text, pattern, and the third one is the option. First two parameters are the required parameters, and the text, this is the value you input, and the pattern you create, or you can use the predefined pattern from the Power Apps. Suppose like you want to validate an email address. So for validating the email address, there is a predefined pattern in the Power Apps, so you can use that one. Now, third option, that is the optional. So we will check all these options with the example. So as I told you, the pattern are the two types, custom pattern and the predefined pattern. In case of the custom pattern, we can create our pattern using the regular expression. But some patterns are the predefined patterns and we can use those patterns. So as you can see in the list, first of all, any. Any means you could use any characters, numbers, letters, symbols, and special characters. Then comma. So your input value should contain the comma. Digit. Your input value should contain only the digits or numbers. Then email. In case of the email, the input value should contain the @ of and dot. Hyphen. Input value should contain the hyphen. Left parent. It means input value should have a left parenthesis. Then letter. Single letter. It will match the single letter. Then multiple digits. So input value should have the multiple digits. Then multiple letters, multiple non-spaces, non-space, optional digits, and optional letters. So these are some predefined patterns. We can use this pattern for validating our data on Microsoft Power Apps. Now, we check the practical of the data validation. First of all, we check the data on our Google Drive. We have a sheet that is the employee, and in this sheet we have the columns: EMPID, full name, age, qualification, date of birth, mobile number, and city. So we have to add a new records with the validation of the data. Now we check the practical. Take a forms in edit mode. Connect to the data source. Connection. Google Drive. Employee. Table 1 and connect. Edit fields. Take all fields. Okay. So right now the form is in edit mode. Change the mode. Default mode, make it new, and a button, say add new data. We check it. So this is our form with a button. So we will add the new record with the validation of the data. Now we apply the rule. First of all, we check the rule. So according to this rule, we have three fields, and these three fields are the required fields. And if we check our app and run this one, so there is no symbol or indicator which shows like which field is required. Suppose EMPID, age, and city. We have to indicate like these fields are required. Okay. Now EMPID. Select the card. So I have renamed some fields, like for the EMPID, it's EMPID value. Also, I change the other fields too. Okay. So the required property of the card. Required by default, it's a false. It means this field is not required. Okay. Now if is blank and empid value dot text, then true, otherwise false. It means if this value empid is blank, then it will return true, and true means the star will be displayed here. Okay, so we do the same thing for the age and city. Age card, then age value, and city, then city value. If we check this app, now we can see the star are there before of the MPID, age and city. This indicates that these fields are the required field. We check the functionality of the required. So we have a two button, add new data. On this button, submit form. We are submitting this form, and name of this form is the form 3, and reset form. Another button, then reset form 3. We check now. EMPID, age, city. These three fields are required. So if I check submit, we have a message under the required fields. Say EMPID required, age is required, and city is required. Now if I click reset, then so this is how the required functionality works. Now we check the second rule. Second rule, EMPID should be in numbers and 4-digit only. Okay. Now, so this EMPID should accept only the numbers, and the length of that number should be the 4-digit. Okay. Now we will apply this rule on this control label EMPID. Now rule is, if the data is valid, the border color of this control should be the black. If the data is not valid, then border color of this control should be the red. Okay. So border color property of this EMPID by default is black. I apply a rule here. If ismatch EMPID value dot text, then comma, digit. This is the pattern. One word digit means one digit, but we need the 4-digit. Say digit and digit. So we are combining the digit, 4-digit. It means we are checking the length of the numbers. It should be 4 digits. Okay. Close this one. Now, comma. If this match, then border color should be the say black, otherwise red. We check the functionality now. So by default, the border color of the EMPID is red now. Okay. If I try say 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's black. If I write say 5, it's red, because the length of this EMPID should be exactly 4-digit. Also 1, 2, 3, then A, again red, because rule is it should accept only the numbers. Reset form. We want the border color of this EMPID should be changed when you type the data. If it is blank, the border color of this one should be the black. Okay. On the EMPID border color property, we can add one more condition. We can check if it is blank, then it should not check the border color. If the daylight value is not blank, then it should check this condition. So we add one more condition, that is the if is blank, impid value dot text. If blank, then true. Border color should be black. Else, if not blank, then it should check this condition. So you can put this condition in the else part of this if condition. Now we check. So by default, if data is not there, the border color is black. If I type here, say 1, then border color red. Again, remove this one. So we are using the two condition for this kind of validation. Now we check the next tool. In age, the value should be numbers only, and it should be only 2 digit, and the value of the age should be greater than 30. Now we apply the rule on the age. Select age and the border color. By default it's a black, and we apply the formula. If ismatch digits, then true value of the if, say black, otherwise red. So two condition almost covered. The value should be numbers and it should be in 2 digit. Now we have another condition that the value of the age should be greater than 30. So we can combine the another condition with this if statement. So and age value dot text, say greater than 30. This is done now, but we have error on the text property of the age value. This is because we are using the greater than operator, and greater than operator always compare the two numbers, two numeric value, and text property of the age value is written in the string. That's why we have to convert this text property into the numbers. So we can use the value function, say value text. This is done now. Now we check, say type to red, because the numbers in a 2 digit and of pure numbers but less than 30. If I say type 31, is done. Now the data is valid according to our rule. If I type say 312, again red, because the value of the age now in 3 digits, which is not a valid. Now we check the next rule for the mobile number, and the format of the mobile number should be 3 digits, then hyphen, again 3 digits, then hyphen, then 4 digits. Now we apply the rule on the mobile number. So mobile number, then border color, by default black, we change it. If mobile value dot text, then comma, digit and digit and digit, 3 digit, then and hyphen, and again 3 digits. Now hyphen, now after this hyphen 4 digit, and if the data match with the pattern, then true, say black color, otherwise red color. So this is our formula and this is our pattern. We check this one. email ID 4 digits 1234, age greater than 30, say 31, and mobile number. If I type 1 2 3, then 3 4 5, then 9999, it's valid. If I change this format, if I remove any hyphen and space, red, not a valid. Again, if I add one more digit, say 8, again red, not a valid. So data should be according to your pattern you created. Next rule for qualification. In case of the qualification, the format should be first 3 letters, then hyphen and the multiple digit. The number of digits is not fixed. It could be any numbers. Now, we apply the rule on the qualification. Border color. If match, then qualification value dot text, comma. So rule, according to rule, first 3 characters should be a letter. Say letter, letter, letter. Then hyphen. Then any numbers of digits. So multiple digits. Then true part of the if condition, black, otherwise red. So this is our formula. Now we check qualification, MCA hyphen any number of digits. So data is valid. Now if I remove one character, data not valid because initially there are only 2 characters and should be a 3 letters. After the hyphen, say MCA, it's valid. If I remove hyphen, again data not valid. But after the hyphen, number of digits, it could be any digits. So data is valid. Now we talk about the submit button, means add new data. Okay, so right now the all data are valid, but if I change the value somewhere, say make it 3 digits, now the border color of the age is red, it means the data is not valid, but still the submit button is there. It's visible and it's in a edit mode. It means you can click this button. So logically, if any data, either data is not valid, then this button should not be in edit mode. It should be in disabled mode. So how to do that one? We can check the border color of each and every fields. How? Display mode of the button. By default edit. Now we apply this logic on the display mode of this button. Say if empid value, this field dot border color equal to color dot red, or mobile number, mobile value dot border color equal to dot red, or age value dot border color equal to color dot red. Finally, qualification value dot border color equal to color dot red, then comma, display mode dot disabled, or display mode dot edit. If any border color for any field is red, submit button would be disabled, otherwise would be enabled. So we check this one. Okay. So in age, we have 3 digits. That's why it's disabled. If you make it 2 digits, now enabled. Edit mode. If you change anywhere, say EMPID should be 4 digits, but now 3 digits, so again disabled. So guys, this was all about the data validation with the pattern matching in Microsoft Power Apps. Thanks for watching the video.